Look, I'll be honest. I'm a little confused by this new reflex where people say, how can we trust the government here? As a way to instantly dismiss any UFO disclosure material coming out from the Department of War, formerly the Department of Defense, which is the largest government agency in the United States. Hold on for a second. You don't need blind trust in government to evaluate evidence. Those are two different things. We already live in a society where we selectively trust institutional outputs every single day. When you get a toll bill in the mail, you don't go, the government lies, therefore this road probably doesn't even exist. When the FAA tells pilots where aircraft are, when the Weather Service, NOAA, issues hurricane data, when you renew a passport, when you register a vehicle, when you use GPS satellites, which you use every day, you're already operating inside a framework where institutional information has practical validity. It's not all some scam. Now, does government also lie sometimes? Of course. Every government in history has, especially around intelligence and military matters. But that cuts both ways. If governments obscure information, sometimes for decades, if they compartmentalize programs, which we know they do, and classify material, then the existence of secrecy itself cannot simultaneously be used as proof that disclosure is not to be trusted. And here's the contradiction I keep seeing. Some of the same people who trust specific political leaders, like Trump, implicitly suddenly become radical epistemological anarchists and college libertarians the second UFO files are mentioned. It's tribalist, it's weird, and it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out to world historic new information. If your preferred administration releases documents, testimony, radar data, pilot accounts, or declassified material, are you saying your own side is lying? Are you saying Trump is lying to us? So I've got Republicans and righties saying the UFO files are a distraction and they're made up. So Trump's a liar? This is one of his biggest initiatives at the moment. 100 years from now, people won't be talking about Laura Loomer, they won't be talking about Ben Shapiro, but they will be talking about the fact that this president, Trump, has declassified stuff that otherwise we would have never seen. We would have continued to live in the Potemkin village where they tell us we're all alone, not just in the solar system, but maybe in the whole universe. Maybe the whole universe is sterile and it's just us on Earth and there's nothing else out there. Well, that's not the nature of our universe. It's not even the nature of our solar system. We were lied to. And frankly, the Apollo 11 footage, it makes sense now. Now it actually tracks. Why were these guys so upset looking when it should have been the happiest looks, it should have been the happiest moments of their lives? Why did they look sad and repressed when they gave that press briefing when they get back from the moon? They look really bummed out, almost how you'd look if you were told you can't tell the most remarkable part of your journey. You have to cover it up for the rest of your life. I think that's why Buzz Aldrin is so weird around this topic. But anyway, what bothers me here is the provincialism of it, how small-minded it is. This is for the whole world, not just for Republicans. Not everything revolves around you. This issue, if real, is not Republican or Democrat. It's not libertarian or progressive. It's potentially civilizational. Step back and look. I'm not saying don't look at the Epstein files. I'm saying this is civilizational. This is big. They'll be talking about this in 100 years. They'll be talking about this in 500 years. So it concerns humanity's understanding of reality. People saying to me, how does this help me? Is this going to pay my rent? Is that what we want to look back at 500 years from now as we got the biggest, truth of all time, changes everything, and people ask, will this help me pay my rent? No, probably not, but it's going to help you with literally everything else. So, you got people in the comments section of my well thought out videos, which I do for you guys, saying, I don't trust the feds. You're not a fed, are you, David? Are you an idiot? Are you folks just dummies? You don't deserve any votes at midterms. You hate your own party so much, you deserve to lose every seat in Congress. Real skepticism here investigates claims carefully. It compares sources. It examines consistency. It asks whether patterns converge across decades, countries, censor systems, and witness classes, right? You got documents from 40 years ago talking about this stuff and how to cover it up from the American people's eyes, how to research it while covering it up. Those files come out. I don't think 40-year-old files are placed there to distract us from Epstein. I really don't. I don't think everything that happens in our world is a distraction from Jeffrey Epstein, and it's a childish view. So if we don't address this absurdity, we end up in an incoherent worldview where all institutions are fake, all evidence is manipulated, all expertise is corrupt, and yet somehow you still cash checks, drive on the roads, trust aviation systems, use military protection, and rely on infrastructure like GPS every single day. You don't have to worship authority, but you also can't function in a civilization while pretending all institutional information is equally worthless. Again, it's very sophomoric. Honestly, I'm surprised I have to be the one trying to get the so-called truth community excited about this. I have to get you excited about aliens? What is wrong with you folks? You have astrophysicists like Michio Kaku basically saying this material rates is a 10 out of 10 in significance, because if even a fraction of it holds up, if even a small percentage of these files show real evidence of craft that are not human in origin, it rewrites parts of the historical and scientific record. And that's my view. This is not some niche political story. This is not some distraction. This is potentially a species-level story. We can talk about the war in Iran, we can talk about the Epstein ring, and we can cover this. And yet people immediately retreat into, how can we trust documents from the 1960s? Okay, then what exactly is your framework for historical understanding at all? You like the Founding Fathers, what if they never existed? By your absurd, reductionist view, maybe there were no Founding Fathers. Maybe that's propaganda from China to keep you weak. I've noticed that on the right. Everything is something designed to keep you down and to keep you weak. It's a victims movement. It's a permanent victims movement, and it's totally disgusting to listen to. The weirdest part here is how partisan and emotional these people become. We are potentially discussing the biggest ontological question of the modern era. This concerns the nature of reality, and people are still filtering it through team politics, culture war reflexes, and anti-government identity performance. It's such a small frame for such a large possibility. Mature inquiry means remaining open without becoming gullible. It means evaluating evidence proportionally. It means recognizing that institutions can both conceal truths and occasionally reveal them. If disclosure is happening at all, it will almost certainly emerge imperfectly as it is right now. But to sit here with these libertarian tropes and say we can't trust a single document that comes out of this government, then you're calling Trump the biggest liar of all. You're calling yourselves a bunch of frauds. So which is it?